Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 14th of January 2020. Today we are going to run over a bunch, and I mean a bunch of pairs, okay? So we're going to start from left to right. I think I've got about 36 or 38 pairs open, so we'll run through those. Okay, so here we have on the monthly chart the American dollar, Swiss franc. What's going on? Well, you can see that we have lower highs and lower lows. So on this time frame, you want to be looking for prices to sell. Okay, so zooming in just a little bit, let's focus on what we have here. We have price that poked into this area of monthly demand, and this is demand because when price left here, we moved above this high, and price has poked into that since it was established. Okay, and as a matter of fact, you can see if we zoom in even more, the beginning of the buy zone is here. So it went deeper and deeper and then deeper still, and so we got involved at around this level because this is where, as you'll see on a smaller time frame, okay, so we have this really nice area just here. Okay, tested a few times, price poked into it, so price went a little bit deeper. Okay, so this is really important because this is significant weekly demand and monthly demand nested. Okay, so this is the beginning of the buy zone in the monthly area of demand. Price poked into it, so I expect price to move north. And I didn't just buy it here. On this time frame here, the daily, I looked for an area of demand to form. Okay, so price poked into this area, it slowed down. How do I know this? Well, it managed to reject it a little bit. We poked down here, and then we created a new high, and the area of demand that created that high is just here. Okay, so the trade went on here. Okay, so this is where we got filled, and now price is moving higher, and I expect that we'll probably go to around here before we have a bit of resistance, potentially this here, but for the time being, that's what we have there. Okay, the American dollar, Canadian dollar, on the monthly time frame, what are we doing? Well, look pretty similar, don't we? If you compare this chart with this chart, I mean, things look pretty similar, don't they? Okay, so kind of the same kind of strategy, lower lows, lower highs. You can see we've broken, we've moved below this area here. We have poked into this area of demand. This is demand because when price left here, we went above this high. Okay, price poked, deeper, deeper, deeper. Where's the area of the buy zone? The area of the buy zone is there. Okay, so I'm going to mark it off like, okay, that's fine, mark it off like that. Go to the weekly chart and have a look. Zoom out a little. And so, beginning of the buy zone, we'll have to adjust that, is here. Perfectly, just here. Okay, and this is a nice area of monthly and weekly area because when price left here on the monthly, it moved above this high, but also from this weekly area, we managed to move above these highs as well. So that's nice. Okay, so I think we're looking shorter term to look for some buying opportunities. If we have a look here, we do have this downward sloping trend line, and so I'd be pretty pleased if price did manage to move above here, break this and take this out here, and then buy this area of demand here. So I'm just going to mark this area of demand off. I'm going to mark it off like that, and I'm going to wait and see what happens once price comes back. This around the 1.3. There's nothing to do just yet, but we did manage to remove this area of supply, which took this one out here. This is gone. Okay, and the origin of the move that did that is actually this one here. So I think if we positioned ourselves to buy from here, I think we'd be doing just. So ideally, I'd like to see price move above here, or this. If price managed to come back down here and move above here, then I'd be looking to buy that area of demand that did that. Okay, so nothing to do here just yet on the American dollar, Canadian dollar. We have this one here. This is the American dollar, Japanese yen. You can see that we managed to move above here, which is good. So we can certainly embrace some longs. I have two positions on here that I'm entertaining. We'll have to see what happens, and I'll show you why I took those in just a second. But we do have this overlapping nicely with this very nice downward sloping monthly trend line. So I think that if this pans out, then we'll see price wriggling lower. Okay, but for the time being, you can see that we have lower lows and lower highs, but just recently we managed to break above this. So this gives us a monthly bullish bias for the time being. And if we manage to move above and hold above this monthly trend line, then we could certainly see the price of this begin to drift higher. Okay, on the weekly chart, we have this area of supply, which was almost tested, not quite, and now we're just feeding into that. Now, price gapped up, and I'm thinking that we'll probably move into this just to have a bit of a maybe hit the stops above these highs here, because this will flush liquidity into the market, which should then be pulled together by the bigger funds and potentially drive price lower. But I like, I like this before price closed or traded above this. When this happened, I kind of started to lose faith in this. But we'll see. These are tiny because they're kind of lower probability because of what I was seeing here. But we do have this here. Okay, so this nice area here, price left here and moved down below here. We're moving higher. We came up to this area and we sold off pretty quickly, but then price managed to move back up into this. Okay, and so this is kind of something that I think is a little bit of a warning. The price might drift a little bit higher from here. We go to the daily chart. This is what I was looking to sell at just here, and I took this because when price left here, we managed to move below here. So I was expecting price to just continue to wriggle lower from here until we managed to reach opposing areas of demand. But we'll see if that happens. We're getting pretty close to this one getting stopped out. And I don't like that we've managed to form this little area of accumulation just here. So this candle rallied, accumulated, rallied, and we closed above these highs. So that's not very good for my case. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But again, going back here, not focusing on my position. Let's just pretend that we have nothing on. We have some really interesting bullish scenario stuff lining up. Okay, so we have very nice rejection here when price managed to move above here. I mean, the accumulation that caused it is just around here. Okay, so price moved back in, we rallied. Okay, we moved above this high, and we came back, we tested, and now we're moving higher. So essentially, we want to be looking for a reason to buy here. And price moved above this. Okay, this is good. This is very good for bulls. We have this move down, this poke into here. We can refine that, make it look a little bit more sharp there. Price poked into it, then we left. Okay, so this is good. I mean, this is good for the buys. And so essentially, you want to be looking for a place to buy. We have this down here, kind of a little bit of an ugly one, but if we just consider the fact that we had these, the origin of the move that moved above these highs is down here. So looking at this, we'll just mark this whole area off like that. And I managed to fix that bug, by the way, that was messing up the colors. Just had a bit of a brain fart, which I managed to see and fix, so that's nice. So that's working out. So we have that, prices moved high. Maybe we'll have to go down to the 4-hour chart to have a proper look. And you can see that this whole move originated from around here. So we do have this here. Okay, nested within. Okay, so we had this 4-hour, price come down, we formed this high, and price rallied up. So I'd really like for price to wriggle down here, and then I would be very comfortable buying it around the 108.30ish area to the 108.50 area, because this is in line very much so with this weekly and monthly scenario that we can see unfolding currently. Okay, but nothing to do just yet. The American dollar, Chinese currency, if we have a look on the monthly chart, what are we doing? Wow, you can see very clearly got swaps negative, just about to move below here. This is very nice. So if we manage to close, or even just move below here, we have a really good reason to begin to accumulate some short positions. Okay, because we would have opposing demand removed. This is an important one here because it moved above these two major highs, and we have market structure that's just about to fail as well. So a push down here would certainly leave me looking for short opportunities up here. So we have that still intact, waiting for that to play out. Yeah, but you can see on this one as well how we had a high, low, and still moving lower. So we would be selling into supply, but I don't think that this is going to hold for very much, because price has really kind of cleared out the road here, and yeah, we'll have to see. I mean we have lower lows and lower highs, so price is easing its way through this monthly demand just here. Okay, so we do have something here. This is a little bit ugly. So we have clarity on the smaller time frames. Yeah, I mean, see how price kind of cut away very quickly. We tested it and then we wriggled lower. I mean, this is nice. This is all very nice. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be looking to sell any lower than where we are now. Alternatively, you could look to buy, but I don't like the looks of this at all, so I'll wait. So this is a kind of a wait and see what happens for the time being, but we certainly want to be looking to sell here, and I'd be more inclined on going to the longer term stuff, which I find myself gravitating more and more to, and just waiting for price to move back up into here. And then position myself short. We've got some pretty nice swaps short as well, but we want this to be removed before we start selling here, because the risk reward here is pretty horrible should price return back to here and this still be intact. We also have this one just below. You've got to be careful of that, and this is a big one. This is a very big one here because this took this out, and this is the origin of the entire move that removed this. This is just a continuation pattern. The origin is here. Okay, so look to short, but wait to short until price takes us out. So nothing to do for the time being. American dollar, Hong Kong dollar. Yeah, this is kind of an ugly one because we have the peg at the top there. You can see. Okay, so we got that sitting up there. You can see the swaps recently changed, so now it's fair game to begin to sell. They were paying dividends for holding these positions short. Sorry, for holding them long. Okay, but it got, so if you were shorting here, you'd be paying swaps every day, so that was very expensive. So these positions would normally, rather, this currency pair would normally shake people out of their positions whilst they waited for these trades to unfold. But now it's good. We have the swap that's in line with the peg as well, so this could be interesting. We also have a peg down here. We got the low down here, and we have the high up here. You can see. Okay, so those look pretty nice. So we have a pretty big range, and so I'd be keener to sell up here than I would buy down here, but we are getting closer to this down here. So the time being, what do we have? We have lower highs and lower lows. We have these gray dots. This is just a visual representation of swing lows and highs being removed. The lows are being removed. We have all the highs intact here, as you can see. So we do have this area here, which I think is quite nice. This is the origin of this massive push lower. If we have another look at what we have here, we also have this here. Okay, so this one here is responsible for, this one here is responsible for removing this. We have this whole area. Just block it off. I'm really simplifying things here, by the way. I hope that's all right. I just want to make this quick and easy. We do have this whole area here. This is the one that's responsible for popping this out. We did have like a bit of a squeeze here, which popped to the downside, and so this could be a really nice kind of a bearish flag just here. So I think price is moving up into here. We'll see some resistance and potentially drive price a little bit low. Alternatively, we do have this area of weekly supply at the top here. Okay, the American dollar, Spanish, Mexican peso. Sorry, that's right. They don't use pesos in Spain anymore. Sorry. Here we have lower lows, and almost lower highs. This one here was taken out by that, so we could technically say that we are moving lower. If we look here on the weekly, it's very clear what we can see. Okay, and so demand, where do we have demand? We have this, just go from here and then look down and left. So we go from here, and we have it here. Here we have demand. Been tested once, twice. The beginning of the buy zone is here, but price will probably likely stop at the 1861.50ish area, just because there's a very nice pattern here. Let's wait and see. So we could look to buy around here, looking for smaller market structure failure to occur at weekly demand. Alternatively, you could look to sell from here, which would be my personal preference. Going to the daily chart to have a look, you can see that this cut away from here. We did have a nice continuation pattern established from around here, because this could also be a nice. You can see when I look at this, you can see the price is starting to accumulate. Okay, so when price does this, it's kind of a warning. This means that we're filling some orders, all these white candles here, and we're occurring at roughly. As a matter of fact, we could actually argue that we do have demand in here, because we had this high here. Just going to pencil these out super clearly. Okay, we did have demand here. It's removed. So the next one is down here, which is currently being challenged. So we could do this. We did something like that. Okay, so now we're kind of poking into that just there, and you can see that price is kind of wriggling around that, and that kind of makes me look like that we're probably going to move higher in a way. We'll probably have a bit of a bounce at here, unless we already have. We've already been there. Good. So I think we'll probably move higher to supply, then move away. And I prefer this weekly area just up here than I do that continuation pattern. I find myself getting burned more and more in continuation patterns, so I'm not as comfortable trading continuation patterns as I have been in the past. So things have happened. And also notice that we did have market structure here. Okay, so we did have market structure here. It's failed. The origin of the area that did that is here. So we do have reasons to sell up here. Okay, so this one I wouldn't fiddle too much with. I'd wait for price to come back up here, and then I would look to sell. American dollar, Norwegian krona. What are we doing? We'll start wriggling higher, aren't we? What do we have? Any more data? No data. We do have here to here. So if we get ourselves a nice push below here, we have these highs that were taken out by this, which is what we're currently bouncing on. Okay, so we need this to be removed before we do anything. We could look to buy until price rebounces and moves back up to here. Okay, so looking for that. We're reacting to this monthly demand. We do have this weekly trend line. That's the same trend line. Okay, same trend line. This has gone down, testing this one here. Price broke this trend. Actually, here it is. The software found it for us, but we'll just mark it off there. Just here, the software found it. It's broken. So what area did it? This area did here. So there's something up here. Pretty ugly, messy area there. But we have something up there that caused the break of this trend line and consumption of this moving below this low. So this is demand. It was tested once and then price cut through it. This is the origin of that move. And so we could move back up into this area here and then continue back down to this area of monthly demand. And if we manage to close down here and potentially close below this trend line here, well, then I think it would be quite interesting to see if we could find the area of supply that consumed the opposing demand and broke this monthly trend line and then fall this lower. Okay, so that could be quite an interesting scenario, but for the time being there's not a lot to do. You could take some shorter term longs in this area, but we have no reason to do that at the moment because we have no highs being taken out, so market flow is still wriggling low. So I expect price to continue to wriggle a little bit lower, maybe on the, I don't like forcing stuff, but if we have a look here, okay, it doesn't get much more refined than that. Yeah, we don't really have any highs being taken out. On the 4 hour we do, pretty clearly. You can see that we had this low, we had this high, and this high was taken out by here. So you could look to carefully get on board with something down there, if you would feel so inclined to do so. That kind of starts around there, okay, as you can see pretty clearly. So around the 79, about the 8.8 area, just here. I'd be a little bit careful with that because we could move back down into this, but we do have shorter term demand here. Okay, that's quite interesting. So, oops, that was completely the wrong thing to do. Volume. We have this one here, it's been tested, and there's still a bit of space until we get into that. Okay, so I'd be careful buying. Short is certainly the way to go. A couple of areas we could watch around here, like that. We have this one just below, so the parent and the child. I'd go for the parent, and we could maybe follow this a little bit lower until we return back down to this base. Okay, the American dollar, Swiss franc. On the monthly chart, what are we doing? Well, same kind of thing. We had this high, it was taken out. There, it took it out. Is this one. Okay, pretty much through that, as you can see. We do have some trend line action going on from here to here. Okay, it's broken. we haven't taken this out yet. Okay, I'd like this one to be gone before I did anything. Looking up here for a nice area to sell at. We do have this. This is nice. Just here. Okay, not yet tested, so price could come back up a little bit deeper than here and then continue lower. So I'd be keen on selling up there, but I wouldn't be looking to do a lot of buying for the time being. If let's have a look on the daily chart. Okay, well we kind of so price is reacting down here. So we have this area of, and this isn't really, when price left here, we didn't really do anything, did we? We did something here. This is the one here that began to hold. Okay, this is the one that managed to move above here. We tested it once, twice, we probably had divergence here, and then we're moving higher and away. But currently we're reacting at this. So this needs to go before we do anything. And it's still there. Okay, and so you could buy down here, because you would be buying deep within monthly demand, but at the same time you would also be buying at this, and currently we have daily supply that's in control. So I'll just be a little bit careful about doing anything for the time being. I just wait. Okay, I don't want price to move through that, and then I'd be looking to buy down here somewhere, maybe around the 936.50 area. Okay, as you can see pretty clearly here, but I mean I want this to go here because this is a pretty strong area. We managed to take this one out here, which was tested once, twice, three times. Now it's gone. And so I think that we want to be a little bit careful. So you could do some shorter term intraday shorts off here. We also have this trend line to break. We want some of these lows to be removed before we do anything, but then you could start to do like this, something like this. Okay, but we need price to move lower before we do anything like that, just to show us that it's committed. American dollar, Singaporean dollar. What's going on here? We have all our money in Singaporean dollars, and so I watch this like a hawk. If we look here, this is kind of a mess, but we do have trend line breaks occurring from around here. Okay, just here. So we have a low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Great, we have market structure that has failed. This is good. So if price manages to wriggle up here, that would be a very nice short opportunity, because this is the one that removed this. This is also the one that caused market structure to fail. So shorts from around that area. If you look here, this one here, if we look here for demand, do we have any demand? We're focusing on this. Look down and left, we got this here. Okay, here, got that there. This is the one, this is the origin of the push that moved above this this nice high here. So we do have this one down here. I'm kind of looking to buy down here as well. We have a look a little bit closer. We have this. This is a very nice weekly area, just at the edge. I like that very much. This is the one responsible for removing this, and price has not been able to come back just yet. The beginning of the buy zone is here. So this is just this is a really nice area to buy at. Alternatively, we have this up here. I was hoping that price would move into this after the release, but it didn't quite make it. Okay, so that was a bit of a blow, but we didn't get there. Yeah, so that position's still on there. If we have a look here, you can see what it looks like on the daily. Kind of price wriggling and then a nice cut below from around here. Okay, but price didn't do that. I don't like the fact that price managed to kind of like come all the way down here and visit the opposite side of the market before returning back to this. So I'll wait with this and then see what happens. But for the time being, I mean, I want price to come back up here to around here before I start to sell, and then I'd start to sell from around here. Come on, from around here, the 136, 32ish area, and that'd be a pretty good area from there. Okay, this one has been kind of tested once. We've already been down to this weekly. sorry, this is the beginning of the buy zone. So we've already revisited the beginning of the buy zone, which could have attracted some buying. We have some nice wicks down there, so we could see price wriggle a little bit north. But I think if price manages come back up here, as you can see, we line up nicely with this trend line. That might be interesting. So that could be an interesting area to look to sell just there. We'll have to wait and see. I'll put all these levels in shortly and put them on the website. Okay, the American dollar Thai baht. What's going on here? Wow, we're just wriggling lower, aren't we? We're moving lower and quickly. We don't really have any demand until we get quite a bit lower. So down here, just here. So there's room to wriggle. We have high, low, high, low. So prices wriggling south. We have trend lines confirming this. So we do have this here. There. We do have this as well. Let's see what it looks like. The smaller time frame. We're looking kind of bullish-ish. We're starting to break some trend lines, which is worrying for the sellers. We might have some people getting shaken out of their positions if they're still short. But we do have this kind of emerging. You see how we have the high, low, high, low, high, low. So like the lows are getting they're getting lower, and the lows are getting lower as well, which makes us believe that this is going to continue. But we do have market structure failing on us. Currently speaking, big gap higher. So yeah, I mean, I don't trade this, but just looking at this, there's nothing to do. I would wait until price came to around here. Okay, this is a nice area of demand. It was tested a couple of times. Tested once, twice. We broke through it. So another test on the backside before continuing lower might be interesting. But for the time being, nothing to do. I think here we have the American dollar Turkish lira. On the monthly, what's going on? Well, not a lot. We have nothing here. We managed to move above this high. That's good. It's a nice push. So we could have a push lower, then a wriggle north. So somewhere around here maybe. Okay, swaps are painful to hold this long, so careful there. But we are moving above this one here. Go to the weekly. We can probably see. Yeah, you can see the trend lines being broken. Okay, so we have market structure failing. So you can see this price is kind of getting squeezed, and it looks to have chosen a side, which is to move north. So we might continue moving north from here. But if we look for supply, so from current price, kind of look up and left. We don't have anything till here. Look here, this has been tested. Okay, so we're kind of stuck between here and below and left. We have this. This here. Okay, and this one is qualified because it broke that there. Okay, so price has not been back down here, so you could look to buy lower, but keep in mind that this is going to be an expensive one. But we are reacting at this. We could even do this just to force it higher. So we have there. We do have the beginning of the sell zone, which is at the high here. Have a look on the dailies to see what's manifesting. We can see over here. Now we do have the parent-child relationship here. Just there. So that'd be an interesting area to sell from up there. For the meantime, we do have price pushing away from here and taking all of these highs out. So this could be an interesting area as well. Price is currently reacting, respecting this trend line, so we might have a bit of a wriggle there, but there's nothing to do for the time being. I would look to sell higher for this or buy much lower, so there's not a lot to do there. The American dollar, South African rand, what's going on here? Well, we do have market structure struggling. So where do we have demand? We have demand here. Okay, it's been challenged, it's been almost taken out. Okay, so what I might even do here is move this down to here, because this is where the thicket of it all is. Okay, tested once, twice, 3 times, and I'd even go as far as just to move it to the lowest test there. So that's the area of demand. And the area of supply, we don't really have a lot. We have, there's nothing. This did not get taken out here. There's nothing until much higher. Okay, so we have this here. It's really far away. So selling above these. Go down to the weekly chart and look. Okay, weekly chart's a different story. How we have we have these lows being taken out and these lower highs here. Excuse me. So we could look to position ourselves here, but this is pretty messy stuff in here. I wouldn't be too comfortable with that. But looking at this, look up and left for supply. We have some supply here. Okay. There's no supply here. This is just price reacting at it. So we have this one here. Okay, there. So that might be interesting. But I don't know if we're going to get there. We'll probably fiddle around in here. If we have a look on the daily, we can see. Yeah, we have this pretty interesting looking thing going on there. So that could be an interesting 1466.76. That looks pretty interesting. This is kind of the origin of the whole move that moved below all of these here. So that should be an interesting place to begin to onboard some short positions. Okay, and then there's plenty of room for price there. I mean, there's no demand, opposing demand until we get down here. This is demand here because we managed to move above here. So let's wait and see. But shorts up here or longs much lower. Pound American dollar weekly. Yeah, look at that. I mean, we're really looking to move higher. We have this area of demand, which I wouldn't touch because it's too close to current price, and price managed to come back immediately to it. So this will probably go away. We do have market structure that has failed. The origin of that failure is here. That's a nice place to begin to buy there. On the weekly chart, what do we have? Well, we have, and I'd be keen to sell if price managed to move below here, then I'd be keen to sell in here somewhere. We don't have that yet. That would also, if price managed to break that trend line, then we could certainly look to line up this supply with the supply that took out this trend line. Okay, that might be pretty interesting, I think. We don't have opposing demand until we get down here, so there's plenty of room for that to work out. We mark this one off like that. This is the one I'm eyeballing at the moment. Yeah, so that's what we kind of have for the time being. Nothing to do here. We need this to be removed before we do anything. It's being tested once, and maybe next week we'll have another test there and maybe push through it. But for the time being, there's not a lot to do there. The pound Swiss franc, kind of the same thing. If you look here, look pretty similar, don't they? If I zoom in, pretty much the same, but this one has been taken out. Okay, so we're reacting. Supply, yeah, we got supply here now because when price left here, we broke the trend line and we moved this. Okay, so that's nice. It's a nice area of supply. We have demand here. Okay, we have that there. On the monthly, what are we doing? On the monthly, you don't want to do anything but selling, do you? Because we just reacted to this whopping. What a beautiful spot to sell there, isn't that? If you go like that, you could have gotten involved with that and already be pretty close to a one-to-one on your way to opposing demand. That's pretty interesting. So I mean, looking at this, I don't want to do anything but sell the pound Swiss franc. So I'll just be looking for places to sell, and I see that here. I like that. I'll sell. There's no reason to get out until we get down here. Have a look on the daily chart. Yeah, I mean, if we manage to get up there, that'd be pretty interesting, I think. Yeah. By the way, a little thing, wouldn't it be interesting if the price labels and the volume for these rectangles disappeared on the time frame that was not currently active? I think that'd be pretty useful because here they're kind of overlapping and getting ugly. Wouldn't it be cool if you would only show the daily labels, if you're on the weekly chart, it'd show you the weekly labels? That's maybe something I could try and figure out. Pretty easy done, I think. Okay, so that's what I'd be doing there. The pound Canadian dollar, what are we doing? Yeah, I mean the same thing, of course. So, you know, I wouldn't want to be doing anything but selling. This level's still intact, respected, so shorting. This is not demand here. We do have a pretty good turning point here, but we did not manage to move above there. But looking here, we kind of have the same thing going on, don't we? We go here, you can see that we go from there to there. overlaps nicely, almost identically. That'd be a really interesting area to sell at. On the daily, we could probably see those areas being taken out, and we could potentially move our entry up a little bit higher to around here. Okay, so we have that there, and there's no real demand until lower. If we have a look on the weekly, we do have prices currently working on this. Okay, managed to move in there, and then we have this one here. I've disabled all the supply and demand drawing on the software, by the way, just so I have to do this stuff manually. Okay, so we had this one here, took out this high, this one took out this high, so we have boom, boom. So this is nice. So price is wriggling here. It'd be really cool if price went through that and then came up to here, and then we would have a target which is all the way down here, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So you might want to see if the risk reward for shorting up here is as good as you'd like it to be. Okay, you can see this area has been taken out by that, and so we might even have a bit of a move off this and move higher, because this one's already gone. Have a tiny bit left here, then we don't have anything else until much higher. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see there. The pound Kiwi, see, this is moving in a different direction, isn't it? This one's moving very aggressively north, and there's a really nice buy zone below. If we zoom in, have this beautiful area. That's what we have. We have upward sloping trend line, which the software found for us. We have we have this. So we have price left here, we moved through here. We had this one here, price moved through it, so we do have this is still working. See, it's not yet gone because this has not been taken out. So we're kind of wriggling sideways, but we do have a long. As a matter of fact, we have a short bias. You could even do this. Price almost got there, not quite. If price comes up into here, and you want to look to short the pound Kiwi there. Okay, this is a very attractive area. There's obviously a lot of selling here. When price left here, we took all of these lows out. Okay, so this is a lot of selling here. Okay, and so I think we could go either way. When price left here, we moved above here, and it's still untested. So this might be a nice area that you could get involved with. Just here, I wouldn't do anything here. This is kind of done. It's not really doing a very impressive move either. Pretty wicky as well. This is a pretty solid area just here. So I'd be keen on looking to buy here, or looking to buy down here, which is the nested area inside this monthly demand. Okay, price come down sideways and left like a rocket. So we have a few areas that we could look to buy. Buy at selling, I'd want to sell a little bit higher that monthly supply. The pound Aussie, what's going on? Kind of similar thing to the pound Kiwi, but we have in fact moved into this. This is interesting to us. So now what do you want to do? We have monthly supply driving price. What does that mean? That means you want to do nothing but sell until the cows come home. So let's have a look. Weekly. Yeah, we almost got up here. We didn't quite make it. I'm not going to do anything yet, but I'm going to sell, but I'm going to wait until price comes up here. I'm also going to wait till this area of demand has been removed entirely, which it has not. Okay, once price goes through that, then I'll be keen to go to sell here. Okay, that'll be really nice. Imagine that. We had a poke up in here and then a push lower. Or if price doesn't go up here, find the area of supply that caused the consumption of this. That'd be pretty remarkable. But I think if price manages to move up here, which it very likely will though, because it has not yet returned to the origin, then we could see some serious selling going on. And also price could move up here, and then we could break the trend line, which would be quite delicious, I think. So nothing to do just quite yet there. Go to the pound yen, same thing ish. So what are we doing here? Well, we're kind of sitting around on this. It's a bit messy. So supply. So up and left. We don't really, this is currently holding. Okay, it's reacting at this. This is a big one because we did take this out, so you could position yourself short for the short to medium term, but we need this to be gone. Okay, because if we were to enter here, we'd still have this bump in the road to contend with. So we want this to be gone, which is not the case just yet. We're starting to take out some of these lows. This actually looks a lot like the British pound, American dollar, a lot, because we have this mess above. We have the same continuation pattern on the pound, American dollar. Matter of fact, we go back. On the daily, I mean, look at that. So we have the exact same thing going on. Isn't that amazing how similar they look? Go from there to here. Look at that. You almost can't see the difference. So we would like price. We had a nice rejection. I'd like price to move here up to here. We are getting some trend line breaks, which I don't like, which tells us we're going to move a little bit higher. This is an interesting area, but I'd like some of this stuff to be removed before I do anything. So for the time being, for me, nothing to do. Pound, Norwegian, krona. Go on the monthly, what are we doing? We're reacting off something up there. I don't have any data. But you can see trend line break, consumption of this low. Boom, sell, 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 sell from there. 11.97.30. Let me move this over. Yeah, that's a very clear sell. So you could just do that, flick that on, and then be pretty pleased with that. That's just a very clear sell there, and there's nothing to stop that from moving. Okay, that's a very clear sell there. So you don't really have to do anything else. Okay, I would leave that right there. I'll organize that in a minute. That's what we have there. The pound, Swiss franc, sorry, Swedish krona. What are we doing? We still have these higher highs and higher lows, so we do have an uptrend. We have this as well. The trend line's pretty clear what it's done there. Zoom out a little. So what do we have here? See, this is gone. So we want to see. Okay, so demand down and left. Is this demand? No, it's not demand. Why isn't it demand? Because it didn't do anything. Okay, so this will be washed out very quickly and easily. I'd rather sell here. Rather sell there. And I'd rather buy down. So looking down, in what area caused price to move through this high? This one did. So I'd be keen to buy here. Okay, and this is one because price formed this, we rallied, we moved sideways, and we popped up. Okay, and so at the beginning of the buy zone for this area of demand is here, so there's nothing to do till we get down here. So we could go like that. I'm just going to put these on so I know where they are. These orders will go in later, but just so I'll have to go through and do the rest of them as well. But that's what we have for the time being. I think if we manage to get up here, that'd be pretty interesting as well. So we could certainly sell there as well. Okay, that's pretty interesting. We could easily wriggle up there. We still haven't been up to that area there. If we have a look on the daily, we got pretty close, didn't we? We didn't make it. So we'll have to wait. Patience. This is not a trend line break because when price left this area, we did not move below here, so there's nothing to do. So hopefully price will move back up into here, have a bit of a wriggle around, and then move lower and away from there. So that would be pretty awesome, I think, if price did manage to get there. Then we have this down here, which is a little bit messy, isn't it? So if we move out and have a look at that, it's pretty ugly. If you look at this, it's very messy, a lot of trading. So what I'd feel more pleased about is down here. So the very bottom of this weekly area. This is a much nicer area. Okay, we'll leave the weekly one on there because it's on there. It's valid. Okay, so that's what we have. We have those. Really nice if price came up there, then we could fold it down all the way into here. That's a pretty good risk reward. So we'll have to wait and see, but plenty of time to wait. I think Aussie. American dollar, what's going on? Well, we have market structure failing. Okay, we got market structure failing. If we mark that off, take from here to here. See, it left here, it went there, it left here, we went there. So now price has broken above that. Okay, Supply, where do we have supply? We have supply here. From there, beginning of the sell zone is at the high. Demand, we don't really have any demand. We don't have any demand until lower, much lower. So weekly, let's have a look. Yeah, I mean I like that pretty much because I just like the way it looks. Just going to mark that off. See, it's broken, isn't it? And the origin of the move that broke that is here. Press left here, then we moved up and through. So we have this overlapping nicely with the trend line. If price manages to spike down into this area here, it would still kind of hold this trend line and also be the backside of it. It could also be the backside of this trend line over here, and a continuation higher. Okay, that's what we have there. Ooh, we've got a few more pairs to go. Aussie, Japanese, what's going on? Well, we have down, down, but we have this area of demand that's holding nicely. This is gone. This one did it. Having a look. Yeah, there's no supplies there until higher. Where's that thing? Here. Okay, so we have this. That's still there. That's still there. It's gone. This one took it out. This one removed that. So this could go here. This is one that tested it. Okay, this happened when I was on holiday. And so price poked through there. We're rallying north, so we could certainly look to buy. And where would you buy? Well, you'd look to buy. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, ideally you want this to be removed before you look to buy. So there's not a lot to do just yet. Price manages to move through here. This is currently valid. This is valid because we managed to move below here. And this is valid because we managed to move above here. Okay, so this one's currently being tested. So there's not a lot to do just yet. You want this to be removed before you look to buy. So you could look to sell shorter term on the smaller time frames, but I wouldn't. I'd wait because this is pretty kind of fluffy stuff up here. Maybe look here, but it's a lot of trading in there, so I probably wouldn't do anything. I'd just wait until this one is removed, and then I'd look to position myself long and follow it up to some of these other areas that we have. We have this here. We have this gap here that was closed as well. There's a couple of areas there we can keep an eye on, but there's not a lot to do now. I want this to be gone, and when this is gone, I'm going to start to look to buy, but nothing just yet. Aussie CAD. Well, this one's looking very, very bearish. Let's have a look. What are we reacting on? We look like we're bouncing at this. Testing. That's big. That's really big. It's a very big one. We reacted actually at the buy zone there to the pip almost. We left and price went down, up, down. But we're having a tough time moving through this market structure. The trend line looks pretty messy, doesn't it? If you look at this, we're both going higher and we're both going lower. We're kind of in a period of expansion. Okay, so price is advertising both higher prices and lower prices to see who's going to jump in first. But for the time being, I mean, the bias is down, but we do have price reacting at monthly demand and at the buy zone. That's pretty big stuff. So I'd certainly wait to see. So I'd want price to show me. I'd want another high to be removed. So I want this high to be removed, or yeah, that's it. I mean, I wouldn't be looking to sell until this one is removed, and it's not removed yet. So I'd look to buy, but I'd want price to remove this. Going to the daily chart, you see here, price. We have a pretty important area here. Okay, we have this area. Yeah, demand. We don't really have. Yeah, we have this here. This one is gone. What area did that? This is gone. The area did that. We got something down here. So this is interesting, a little bit. that's a little bit interesting. So maybe here, I'd rather wait till price popped through there and then grabbed something a little bit more almighty and follow it higher to these other areas that we have above price. Here we also have price reacting at this. Okay, so this is what we're reacting at. Okay, so tested once, twice, three times. It's been tested quite a few times. So, and we're kind of, you can see that we're slowly kind of drifting. I mean, a moving average would certainly show that drifting higher. And this is all these white candles being painted at monthly demand. That's pretty important. So we're probably going to eventually start to drift higher, and maybe have another go at this. So we could be kind of range bound between this weekly supply and this monthly demand down here. Aussie, Kiwi, monthly. What are we doing? Lining up nicely with this trend line. We have highs being taken out, lows being respected, so we have a long bias. You can see price bounced off this pretty nicely. We're kind of painting white candles as we move deeper into this. Is probably divergence into this. Cool. Okay, so when this, come on, when these highs are removed, when this trend line is broken, then I'll be looking to buy up here. There's no supply here. Have a little bit of supply there, which was tested once before. And so I want price to move through here, pop through that, and then pull back to an area of demand down here. I don't know, let's say there-ish. And then let's see what happens. But we need this to be removed. This is pretty important. We have lower lows and lower highs, and we have market structure wriggling lower. But this is kind of happening in weekly demand, so this might not hold. Aussie franc, what are we doing? Lower lows and lower highs, so we could continue to wriggle lower. We have this important area. Okay, important area. Trend line's going lower. For this one here, supply we have here. Okay, it's been tested. Demand, don't really have any demand until lower. Let's mark off the low. Let's see. I don't know if I have anything. No, iBroker has nothing. Nothing. So this is the beginning of the buy zone. We had a turn around there once, turn around there now. So we could be looking to move a little bit higher. Okay. So we did manage to kind of move above here. Yeah, but I'd want to buy lower or sell higher on this one. Go to the daily chart. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do anything here. I'd wait. I'd want this stuff to be removed. I want to see high highs here. This is all happening down here. So lower and left for demand. All these were taken out from here-ish. Okay, tested once, twice, three times, four times, five times. We're probably going to go lower and begin to kind of seek bullish liquidity, which we're going to find lower. Aussie Singapore. What are we doing? Wow, can't really see anything there. Yeah, I can't see what we're doing there. We're moving lower. Actually, it looks like we're getting stuck in kind of a bit of a wedge there. You see here. Okay, so there's no directional bias just yet, but on the weekly maybe there is. Yeah, on the weekly, getting market structure failure, and we're having demand been tested there. So looks like we're going to move a bit north off of here. Upwards looking trend line, ever so carefully, daily. Yeah, looks like we're going to move north from here. Do have a bump in the road there to contend with. That one kind of causes market structure to fail. Ooh, we have this as well up here. Okay, it's pretty far away from price, so you could look to buy on the smaller time frames. We did. Is this gone? This is gone now. Maybe? No, it's not gone. This one's holding. You could wait for this to be removed, and then once that happens, position yourself to buy the one that removed that. Okay, and then you could, if you're small enough area, then you don't really have any bumps in the road until you get up to here. So longs for the time being on that. Oops. God, it's a lot of pairs, isn't it? Let me move over here. I think we're almost to the last one. Now we have so many more. You know what? I'm going to leave it at that. That's an awful lot. That's an awful lot. Here, look how many more we have. You know, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. You can just pause this if it's getting boring. I get to do my analysis out loud, which is nice. Okay, so here, what are we doing? Well, we got lows, lower lows, and lower highs. Okay, we have this here. This is currently challenging price. Come on. Okay, so we're bouncing off there on the weekly. It's better up there. Tested that. This is not going to hold, I don't think. Lower lows and lower highs, that's nice. Once this is gone, then I'm going to look to sell at here, which probably the sell zone starts around there. But nothing to do until this is gone. There's nothing to stop price from falling till here. Okay, so that's what we got. That's a nice risk reward there. We want this to be gone though, which it isn't. It's an ugly one. A face only a mother could love. See, we're still kind of fiddling with there. So push through that, then a move higher. If this holds, we'll potentially go up to the beginning of the sell zone, which is probably a daily thingy. Yeah, right there. Kind of this little one here. Just mark that off like that. Okay. So nothing to do just yet. Let's leave that on there. Kiwi. What do we have here? Market structure failure. Market structure failure. Okay, so this is still in play. This monthly supply. Prices kind of moved pretty far through it. Yeah, it's pretty far. We took out this one, we moved down, we moved up. We had market structure from here to here. It's gone now. Okay, it's gone. On the weekly we'll probably have clarity. Go on. Okay, and so we just have this down here, and I mean I like this. You know, this is kind of the big fat one. It's going to go like this. Let's use the weekly ones. We have this, the price is fighting with. We have this, and we have upward sloping trend line already here. And we had market structure failing at around here. This big mess. Okay. And we have this. We have these highs. We had this area of demand. Sorry, supply. Which has been removed. The area that did it is something down here. So something around here-ish. Kind of go like that-ish. I think. That's what we have there. Okay, going to the Kiwi Japanese yen. Let's see if I can get this down. New record for ripping through these. Yeah, low lows and lower highs. We have no demand until something here. Oh, plenty of room. We do have sellers. This is gone. We do have sellers around here. Come on, come on. Go away. Software will fix that in a sec. Boom, boom. There we are. Okay, so we do have sellers from up there. Let's have a look on the weekly what it looks like. Yeah, I mean this one here. Didn't even stop price, did it? A little bit, you know. Went through it though, so we're going further north. And the area that did it is this one here. This is what we're bouncing off. Moving up to here. Yeah, lined up nicely with this. This is gone, so it could clear the road until we get up here. So you could go long. Once this is taken out, then I think you could certainly look to continue to buy, but it hasn't happened yet, so nothing to do. Yeah, so just wait until price comes up here, or if price removes this high, then begin to accumulate long positions. Kiwi CAD. Wow, yeah, so we had this. It was tested. this, which is still in place. We're just reacting at that. It's pretty big. Buy zone, which is currently where the test on the monthly area is. Now we're struggling with here. Oh my goodness, testing there. So we could wriggle lower from here. It lines up nicely with the trend line as well. You could do some shorter period shorts from around here. Okay, I'll have to do these afterwards. I got to put stops in and stuff as well. So I mean, we did manage to move below here, which is nice, and there's no real from the space between here and to opposing demand here. I mean, there's plenty of room, so we'll wait for that. Kiwi franc, what are we doing? Yeah, they look the same, don't they? See, this one's currently holding though. That's holding. Okay, so we have demand down here. Okay, so selling here, not a lot of room. Maybe you get a 1 to 2. So if we go to the smalls to find it, have a nested area there, which is nicer, a little bit deeper. A bit of a mess there. Price. This trade's already done. This would have been a nice buy down here, where we had this low poked into here. We had this high, higher low, and price finally popped higher from around here. So we might get a bounce from here. This is the origin of the move that moved above here, but we have reacted at this monthly, the edge of this monthly supply. But a poke into here and then a wriggle to opposing weekly supply would not be out of order. Euro USD. What's going on here? Let's start fresh here. We're moving lower, aren't we? Okay, so we have from here to here. Still respected. High, low, low, high, low, low. Still respected. Where do we have supply? Current price up and left. The beginning of the sell zone is there, so this is what we have. Almost tested it. Demand, we don't have demand until lower here-ish. There's plenty of ways for it to fall. On the weekly, what do we have? On the weekly, we have this. I'm going to remove this one here, just to get that out of the way. Okay, so that's been tested once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and now we're kind of wriggling a little bit higher. We do have this trend line kind of wriggling higher. Not a lot of clarity here. Let's go to the smaller time frame. Yeah, we had this one. Nice. The price poked into this area here. This is interesting because when price came down here, we took this one out and we managed to move above this high into here. So that was a pretty interesting one. But we have, this lined up nicely with the trend line, but we have moved below here. So could sell here. This is also because we're reacting at weekly supply. Okay, so that's a big deal. It's a very big deal. Okay, so looking on here, we could look to short there. The beginning of the sell zone is a little bit higher. Let's have a look on the 4-hour chart. The beginning of the sell zone is here. The 4 hours kind of begging for a bit of a something like that. Yeah, guess you could kind of like have a look there. Isn't it nice when you go on like the daily, the weekly, and the monthly? I mean, just all the noise completely disappears. It's become so much easier to analyze. Monthly, what are we doing? What we're selling, aren't we? We have this tested price left here. We move below all of these. Don't have any demand until down here. Something there, beginning of the sell zone just there. Alright, so what are we doing? We're downward sloping. Want to be selling. What do we have here? Well, we're moving north a little bit off of these lows. The beginning of the buy zone is here. it was there, then it was moved lower, then it moved a little bit further lower. And this is where we found some buyers. Price left. We have this area of supply. It tested quite a lot, hasn't it? It has a lot. I don't know what's going to happen there. You want something to happen. We do have downward sloping trend lines. We do have probably a daily area kind of nested. Here it is. Here, price kind of worked up into here. Deeper, 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 turning around. Now starting to move lower, so maybe a poke off here and kind of a wriggle lower. Where do we have like an opposing spot? Well, there's not demand until down here. So there's plenty of room for that. So you could certainly... Okay, just trod on my microphone. I think it's fine now. So we could look, engage there. Or even potentially a little bit higher. On the daily chart it looks like that. That's what it looks like, okay? It's a pretty nice clear swing. Down, up, down, sideways, and then down. So, okay, so this is it all originated from here. So you could go there-ish and follow it further down, okay? Euro pound. Yeah, higher highs and lower lows is kind of a mess, isn't it? So, but the most recent is this one. This is the most recent one that was removed, okay? So this is what we have to consider. So demand, where do we have demand? Current price and lower, there's nothing. We have this. Supply, we don't have supply until up here. Got some pretty whopping areas pretty far away from price. Weekly. This is not a real trend line. These are like the early warning trend lines the software does. That looks pretty much the same. So we have this. Looks like we might be breaking that. If that was the case, well, that would qualify this little spot as demand. We could look to buy from around here and get out when we get up to around here. But this one here is interesting, well, because when price moved below this this monthly low, the whole thing originated from around here. Okay, so this is an interesting spot as well for us. We could look to sell here, and well, we don't know what's going to happen just yet, but depending on what price looks like when it approaches the area, maybe there won't be any demand. Okay, so that's what we have there. Euro Kiwi monthly. Yeah, we got a downward sloping trend line, but we still have this. This one's still working. Managed to move above here. Still working, so we are actually working within monthly demand. That's a pretty big deal. Or if you wanted to focus on the origin, we could go like that. Okay, so we have the origin, we have the parent, child, beginning the buy zone is here. So you could wait and buy lower. On the weekly chart, you'll see that here. Here it is. There. Here's the weekly buy zone. We have this one, the weekly demand. That's what we're bouncing at. See, we do have this little one here, which is kind of a nuisance because it's in the way. So if this wasn't there, then I think price would easily drift higher, but this is kind of looking to give us some problems. So as a result of this, maybe price will move back down into here and maybe give us a reason to get involved somewhere down there. Okay. But apart from that, I mean, this whole area is kind of sitting within this one here. It's kind of the mother demand that price is kind of fighting with. Okay, we've kind of moved pretty far through it. I don't think any of these trades are going to go on forever. Euro Aussie. Market structure failure. Very nice. It's happening from here. There it is. Let's have a look on the weekly. Yeah, here. Here we have it. Right there. Tested quite a few times. Ugly. I mean, we have this one still working. That one's not gone yet, so we want this to be removed. our attention to this one. Or this one to be removed before we buy. So there's not a lot to do now. So buying low and selling high. You're Frank. Low is, we have supply here, price left here, we move below there, demand we don't have until here, weekly, we have trend lines being broken and supply being respected, and it's kind of all originating from. It's pretty ugly, isn't it? I mean, look at this, it's like really ugly. I'll move on. It gives me a headache looking at that. What do we have this? The euro yen. Yeah, well, we're looking to approach here. So we do have this. Still in play. Looks like it's probably going to remove it. What I'd like to see is price poke up to this, and we get short there. That's nice. This is the origin of the move that moved below here. We also have this. Have this one. It's a big one. I'm just going to go like this instead, I think. Beginning of the buy zone is here. Price came close to it. So if price manages to move back up into this, that'd be glorious, because there's no reason to get out until we get all the way back down here. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to put that up there just so we have something to watch. So look on the weekly. Yeah, you know, kind of a messy one, isn't it? But we do have, we had a low, sorry, high, a low, low, high, and low, low, and all kind of originated from around here. So this is probably a pretty sweet area to sell. That's it, and we're done. Okay, good. Well, this is a really long one, and I apologize for that. But I'll get all these orders put in now, and then I'll put them up on the server.